And we are live. What's up, guys? It's your boy Stunt Lifestyle, and you are watching the We in Miami podcast. Today, guys, we are going to be talking about Courtney Tailor. And if you don't know who that is the girl who stabbed her boyfriend, and he died. But before we get into it, I got to ask y'all, where we at?
We in Miami.
We in Miami.
We in Miami, G. We in Miami. We in Miami, G. We in Miami.
We in Miami. Guys, so we're going to be talking about Courtney Tailor. You know, you might remember them from the last episode. Courtney Tailor's ex-friends.
I would say more like acquaintances. Well, yeah, we were friends.
And you were also friends with Christian, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we had just met them August 2021.
August 21.
And so we went on a trip together.
Jamie and Emily of the Two Girls, One Blunt podcast. They've been on here a lot.
What's up? What's up?
And we have the power couple.
How y'all doing?
Up?
Attorneys at law. Got my man Ariel Lett and Angelique Lett of the Lett Law Firm.
All right.
What's going on, y'all?
They're going to be giving their legal opinions today, man. We got a crazy episode for you guys. And we also have some beautiful ladies in the room. How you doing, ladies? Let me hear you say hey.
Hey.
But we got to start off, man. Condolences to, Christian's family.
Absolutely.
Very unfortunate about his death, which I think personally could have been prevented if she hadn't stabbed him in the first place. But even if she had have, apparently 10 minutes went by on the phone with her mom before she called the police. He could have been really.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So we're going to get into that. But before we get into today's topic, guys, let's go around the room. Everyone introduce yourselves. Tell us what you do for a living. And if you think she is guilty or innocent. Let's do it like that. We'll start off with my man, Ariel.
I'm Ariel Lett. I'm the owner of Lett Law Firm. We practice in criminal defense. So I have a little bit of experience with types of law that's going on here that's going to be discussed here. And in terms of whether she's guilty or innocent, I mean, under the court of law, you're innocent until proven guilty by the prosecution. But, she's got an uphill battle maybe, so far from what the facts show.
Definitely. And what about you?
What's
the
up?
Mrs. Litt right here.
Angelique Lett, also an attorney at Greenberg Trolloc. I do civil litigation. I opine a lot in my home on criminal law. I have to say, innocent until proven guilty. Second degree murder. It's a tough one to overcome, but we'll see how it works out.
Yes. And what about you?
Hi, my name is Josie Lentner. I'm a licensed financial advisor, model, and social media content creator.
That's cool because we need to get into Courtney's finances too because I got a lot of questions about that. Everyone's saying she come from money. She had money off her OnlyFans. We got to talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We can get into it, but I think she's guilty.
Don't.
What about you guys?
What's up? I am Jamie Lee Simmons. I am the co-host of the Two Girls, One Blunt podcast. We're number 8 in stand-up comedy on Apple Podcasts, so I am a stand-up comedian as well. And
Nice.
I smoke weed for a living.
Hey, they actually were the ones that brought Courtney the first time, right?
We brought Courtney. We were like, want to come on this podcast? And then 2 weeks later, that happened.
And
then our faces were plastered on Dr. Phil and TMZ, and it was great.
Let's give a rundown. Hold on. Let's give a rundown real quick.
No.
For the people that don't know, Courtney Tailor, okay, she was the OnlyFans model, Instagram model, over 2 million followers on Instagram. So she was viral on the internet, and she came on the show. Coincidentally, we had a regular show, and then a few weeks later, she murdered her boyfriend. And
allegedly.
It just went crazy. Allegedly.
Allegedly murdered her
So that's
boyfriend.
what happened.
She killed her boyfriend.
Well, she's admit that she did it, but when she's saying self-defense or
It's allegedly whether it was murder or self-defense.
okay, we got to get into that. So terminology. So murder is a different word.
Murder
than
is a different word.
someone
than
dying from.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
It was a homicide for sure.
Yeah,
But whether or not it was murder or self-defense, that's
that's two different things. Okay, and
Oh.
what about you?
Look at these lawyers.
Yes.
I love this. She used to work at a law firm.
I did. So it's cool. Thanks guys for coming on. I'm
Happy to be here.
I'm Emily. I'm high. 24 years old. I like long walks on the beach. No, I'm the other co-host of the Two Girls One Blunt podcast. Where fuck yeah, thank you, Shakira. We love you. I'm sorry we introduced you to a murderer, but like I didn't mean
we had no idea.
A killer.
I mean, she seemed so chill. Now she did say some
She
crazy
said
thing.
shit.
Before we get into it, can we play the little clip of her when she came on the show? Let's play the clip so you guys can see what she said to everybody. This went viral all around the world.
I'm Courtney Tailor, and I do OF for a living.
OnlyFans. You got like 1 million followers or something?
2 million.
You look like the type of girl that only dates like rich guys. Is that true?
No, that's not true. I only date black guys. Especially black guys. Especially black guys. Let me clarify. I only date rich black guys.
Rich black guys. There we go. And you know you're toxic.
Yeah.
You can tell she like black guys. It's like, especially black guys. For all you watching, I'm with it. Do you like to be fully controlled, or do you?
I like to be submissive. Yeah, in the bedroom.
Yes.
But like in my life, I don't like anybody to tell me what to do.
Yeah, so you only want him to tell you what to do in the bedroom. Other than that, you don't want him to tell you anything.
Right. That's
Oh, God.
exactly it, yes.
So that sounds like you're a control freak with your relationships. Be careful with this one. She's gonna boss you around like
Sweet toxicity.
So you only date rich black guys. So like, have you ever dated like any politicians or only like rappers or athletes, or what kind of rich black guys?
No dope boys, no politicians.
Just strictly athletes.
I mean, well, dabble here, dabble there.
there were definitely red flags there.
Yeah.
And I told everyone she was toxic.
Yeah.
I said it right there.
But you were feeling her. You were feeling her that
we
night.
thought you were kind of
Like
had a
flirting with
crush.
her?
Yeah, you were flirting with her.
But
Play
see,
it back,
that's-
Shakira.
I guess I dodged a bullet or a knife.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. We had posted another clip of her saying she curved Tory Lanez because he was too short, and he actually replied back and said, "Hey, you didn't curve me. I just wanted you to be in my music video."
Really?
Shout out to Tory, man.
Did he come with receipts?
he dodged the
though?
knife,
Did he
too.
come with receipts?
We called her
for that?
Captain. Before we get into it, let's show the blood pictures. So we have the exclusive photos from the crime scene. We're the only ones with these
Oh.
pictures right here.
I should have meditated before this.
So this is the floor in the hallway, right in front of the door,
Oh, God.
and this is the blood from him. So that's the unit. That's the door right there.
Christ.
Yeah, that's the blanket she used.
It's out the front door.
Yeah, out the front
Yeah.
door.
Wow, this is
It's a
We
cri-
actually
it's a crime
obtained
scene.
these from their neighbor, and the neighbor said that when he was being taken to the ambulance, he was still alive. Like he saw him, he was alive, and he said like one of the people that was like taking him was laughing, and I mean
wow.
they were just kind of I don't know,
Laughing.
but he
the
was alive.
EMT?
Yeah, one of the people, he was alive though. And
Taking
they
videos.
Yeah, I don't know about they were taking videos, but
star.
he was alive. Yeah, I mean that's the new culture we're in right
Right,
now.
that's
Let's
the
just
culture.
video record someone.
Is that the
What about
apartment?
Courtney? Did she have any like?
Yeah,
That's
that was outside of the
That's
apartment
outside
door.
the
Yeah,
apartment.
like in the hallway.
Wow.
Yeah. My thing is, if you were on the phone with your mom for 10 minutes before you called the police, that was enough time to like save him because he was still alive. Like
That makes me
Possibly.
sick.
Possibly.
Yeah.
that's the weird part. Like if you bleeding out, that 10 minutes matter.
And
That
That
for sure.
absolutely does.
stabbing someone is such a gruesome way to kill someone. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's not a gun. You can do it from a distance. You know, you can kind of like pussy out. If
You have to be
want, but,
really-
Oh, is a
Said
gun
she
your
threw it.
choice? So if
Yeah,
you have to
it's
choose
like- I mean,
one.
You have to either be really scared for your
Yeah.
life or fucking tapped.
Yeah, I think there's a couple different ways, right? Like, if let her tell it, this was self-defense, right? So he was beat shit out of her, right?
Yeah, well, so prosecutors decided to charge her with second-degree murder.
Mhm.
What is your view on this whole case? So what is your legal opinion on this?
Well, of course, not knowing all of the facts that they would have, just the ones that we've gotten by piecemeal through all of the media. What's really come out is the angle of the stab wound, and the way her tell it, she threw it 10 feet.
Yeah, that's
So
what they
like a
said. She
knife
threw
thrower.
it.
Yeah.
But people were saying like that's not possible unless she was like a professional
It
like,
said like the
it's
force.
knife thrower.
It's
Yeah, the
very
force is
difficult.
going
I won't
down.
say impossible, but that's very difficult, right?
Yeah.
And so, what's much more, I would say, likely is especially for that angle, is something coming down like this, right? So
Like up close, yeah.
right. So, even if it's that still could be self-defense. Maybe she grabbed it and then turned around and boom.
Yeah.
But in terms of the reason for taking 10 minutes, if you're on her side and just like, look, I just got ass beat for however long.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm mad at him, and I'm about to save him. Like, no, like you just whooped ass, and I had to stab you to defend myself. Like, I'm about to call my mom and see, like, what do I do? Like, what am I supposed to do with this situation? And I'm not worried about you because you just was trying to kill me, right? Like, I used lethal force on you because I perceive you using lethal force on me, and so if I'm perceiving you using lethal force on me, what do I care about you at this point for?
Exactly.
Right? Like, let me talk to my people and figure out what's going on. But if you're on the other side of the prosecution, you're gonna say, well, she didn't care about him at all, right? Like,
do you think she's gonna get off, or how much time you think she's gonna get?
That all depends, right? She could take a plea. Obviously, if she doesn't take a plea and she loses, right, she's going to get more time, right? They plea deals, you have some wiggle room. That's part of the reason for a plea, is so that way.
Is she going to plead like insanity or PTSD or self-defense? I think she's claiming self-defense, right?
Right. She's already claiming self-defense.
I definitely thought there was some mental health stuff put into that. No?
There may be. Absolutely no way she pleads insanity. Absolutely no way. I can't see it. Is
that a hard case to like prove?
That's a non-starter. To plead insanity, you would have to show that like literally in that moment you had no apprehension of what's right or what's wrong. And honestly, like self-defense is just a completely contrary defense than insanity. I mean, you're saying I was very conscious of my life being threatened and I had to do what I had to do to save my life versus like I have no apprehension of what's going on right now. I don't know right from wrong. I'm in like an alternate universe. It's just too inconsistent.
What about like mental health like what if she had like PTSD? Like what if she was in an episode? Like is that under the self-defense?
That could contribute to her self-defense argument, right? To say like, oh, because I go through that, my boyfriend beating the crap out of me and me having to do what I did to him, somebody I loved or really liked or whatever, because he did all of this and I went through the situation. Now I am having my own issues as well. So I want it could be a ploy to say to move that argument forward. Or it could be, a realistic thing that somebody's going through. There are people that women, men, anybody can be a victim of domestic violence, and if you are that victim, right, that can mess with your mind. And so,
a neighbor told me that a few days like prior, they had saw Courtney like crying in the lobby, and apparently they was having a lot of kind of drama. What did y'all know about their relationship? Because y'all were around them before all this happened. Like, was it toxic?
So I guess from what I know, we went on content trips because we're all like social media people, and do OnlyFans. And so we knew Christian because we would smoke weed with him while Courtney was making content.
So you actually hung out with Christian?
Yeah, we hung out with him before we hung out with her. We met her because we're technically kind of like
cool with him,
colleagues. But we're like the weed girls. So anyone who smokes weed when we're taking
what
breaks.
Did Christian do for a living? Like, what did he do?
He was in crypto.
Oh, crypto. Okay.
Yeah.
So he had money.
That I don't know. I don't know them well enough to say.
Because I heard something like he had a Lamborghini or something. I saw somewhere he had a Lambo.
Really?
Y'all didn't hear about that? I don't know. Someone said he had a Lambo.
No.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, like on those content trips too, like we rent Lambos.
Oh, okay.
And like so a lot of people's they're all rentals and stuff. So I don't know if he had one or not. I just know I've heard from like people who knew them way more intimately than we did, that like he was like stealing money from her. Like that was like the rumor. So people were kind of like on Courtney's side, and we were like, we didn't know any of that. From like what we knew about them was like Christian was super like sweet, like kind. He was kind of quiet. He always was like, he looked like the kind of boyfriend that just made sure his like girl was okay. And she seemed like she had definitely some like mental health stuff going on, as well as like an alcohol like drinking problem.
Yeah.
So like we never personally saw drugs like people have claimed. We definitely like, you know, being on trips have seen her drunk, and he was always like the one to take care of her and just like make sure like, you know what I mean? Like I felt like he would make me feel safe if he was my boyfriend.
Now, did you guys see the elevator video?
Yes, I was.
Let's pull up the elevator video. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, I've never seen him personally in person kind of like get angry or yell back, but the way
it looks
that
like
he
she's
like
getting in right now.
keeps her at a distance, you know what I mean?
She's
and,
like
respectfully.
she's like trying to close the elevator. I think she like didn't want him to get in, so now she's hitting him.
That.
Damn.
They were definitely a
fucking him up.
Yeah.
Oh, trying to like hold her back.
But that doesn't look like self-defense to me. That looks like she's attacking him.
Yeah, and
attacking
he's
him.
trying to like defend.
Yeah.
She started hitting him first.
People were saying though, like, okay, maybe he knows there's cameras in the elevator. So like a lot of like maybe out in public, because she's like more emotional and drinks, like she's showing her emotions and can't contain it. Whereas like if he keeps his composure, he waits till he's home alone. They're home alone to like hit her or beat her. And that's like the case where you have like narcissists in relationships or anyone like that who know how to publicly make themselves look good and look at, I made you react. It's your fault. And so that's when you ask like if she's guilty or not, that's the only thing I don't know about the situation.
Only one person alive knows what happened in that room right now, and it's Courtney Tailor.
Yeah.
And he knew, but he's dead.
Yeah.
What about her mom though? Like, does the mom have any like affiliation with this? And she was the first person.
There were actually text messages from the mom.
God.
So if you look right here, at 4:01 p.m., Clenney called Christian. Then she goes live on Instagram. Then at 4:33, she called him again shortly after posting the video. And then he walks into the apartment at 4:33 as well. And then at 4:43, she called her mother. Okay. And she was on the phone with her mother until 4:49, just over 6 minutes. And then at 4:49, she made a second call to her mother, and they spoke until 4:56 p.m., a little over 7 minutes. And then she calls 911 at 4:57.
Please. 3101. It's 130, so 130. Ma'am, listen to me. You need to stop screaming on the line and give me the address. 3101. I can't feel my arm. 3101. I can't feel my arm. Ma'am, so my boyfriend is dying of a stabbing. Ma'am, what is the address? What's that? What's the address, baby? 3131 Northeast 7th Ave. Please, God, please. Come see my boyfriend. Ma'am, is this a house apartment or a business? 127452582. Is this a house apartment or a business? Baby, I'm so sorry. Baby.
Then at 5:04, that's when the officers, get there and stuff. So those minutes matter.
He could have survived.
Yeah,
He could have lived.
Yeah, let's say she
Could
called
the
her
mom
mother
be
at.
subpoenaed for like telling her story of what happened? Because obviously the mom knows, what happened since it allegedly happened right after she called her. So when the mom's testimony weigh heavy.
Well, you got to think about it. The mom is just trying to protect her daughter.
Yeah,
as any mom probably would.
She's definitely gonna be called as a witness. Do you disagree?
Yeah.
Well, she's definitely going to be interviewed by the cops, right? And what she says to them, right? Whether they decide to call her after that, maybe she says, "Oh, we talked about."
I'm not suggesting that the prosecution calls her as a witness. I'm suggesting that there's no way that either side doesn't call her as a witness. It's definitely going to depend on what her statement is. It's very unlikely that she hasn't given one, but I just don't see, because she is such a pivotal witness, how either side gets away from not wanting to hear what she has to say. I mean, more likely than not, I would think it's going to be the defense side, right? It's her mom. And of course, the prosecution is going to bring out all the biases that come with that. But I don't see how she escapes based on the timeline and then just based on who she is.
But now prosecutors decided to charge her with second-degree murder. Can you tell us what's the difference between first-degree murder and second-degree murder, and why you think the prosecutors decide to go for second degree?
Because they're smart. Go ahead.
Yeah. So first-degree murder takes premeditation, right?
Like she planned it. Okay.
Right. It's almost like a planning, right? And now premeditation, there's no real exact timeline. You need to have 5 minutes of preparation time. It fact dependent, but second degree murder is a depraved heart, right? Like you're like, oh,
spur of the moment, it just happened.
Yeah.
But you didn't plan on it to happen.
Right. It wasn't like I started my day planning that I was going to, Sandy Hook or something like that, right? Like that's premeditated murder. Like
got
going
you.
Somewhere.
Like you planned it, yeah.
Right. So this with, the situation.
Do y'all think she planned it? I feel like she probably didn't plan it. I think she just snapped.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think she.
I think it was like an episode.
Yeah.
And you wanna charge what for the prosecution. I mean, of course, we're chasing justice, but you want to charge what you can win, right? You want to charge what you can convince a jury of, and you want to charge what there's evidence of. I mean, once you charge, it's not like you're fully locked into that. Discovery may determine that, like I see this text message to her mom that's like, I'm gonna kill a Christian today, right? Of course. Yeah. Then we change the charge. But
so if they charge you with first degree murder and they lose that, they lose the whole case, or they can drop it down a second later, or
so they can charge you with the first and then have what we call lessers, right? So first degree murder is the top, right?
The top, yeah.
And then you go second degree, and then there's manslaughter. And so they could reasonably, like, that they have it within their power to say, all right, I'm going to do first degree murder.
Yeah.
And then we'll argue if you don't think it's first degree, then it's second degree. If you don't think it's second degree or first degree, then it's manslaughter. Right.
Yeah.
But you don't. That's taken away from the steam that you have, because your whole case is built on what you're, the initial charge of what you're charged. Yeah. And no doubt in my mind, charging her with second degree, and they're going to include the lessers of manslaughter and things like that to say, even if she didn't have the depraved heart, but in the moment, she still had the culpability of manslaughter.
I feel like she's going to do 1.5 years and 5 years probation. She's not going to do, I don't think she'll do over 1.5 years.
She didn't even get arrested.
Why did it take so long to get to this
It's been 5 months, right? Because the whole controversy started because she got out like the next day or something, or same day.
She was out and like seen at a bar and videos.
Yeah, like hanging out. Like she was at
her hotel bar. She was at her hotel.
And when she was arrested again, recently when she was charged with murder, she was in Hawaii undergoing treatment for PTSD, which stands for post-traumatic stress disorder, to help recover from the ordeal. Do you think that undergoing treatment was calculated to help her legally in any way?
They definitely, if I was her lawyer, I would have encouraged it, right?
I guess it's a good place to go to rehab in Hawaii.
Must be nice.
You're definitely going to encourage it. Now, obviously, like whether it works for your case or whether it works for your personhood, right? That's the step to go if that's your theory. Like, this is what I'm claiming, self-defense. Well, and because he was whooping ass, and so anybody in that situation, in a real situation like that, somebody at least who has money to do so, would go to that and do those things, get that rehab, or at least get some counseling.
Rehab probably isn't cheap too, especially in Hawaii.
Oh, for sure.
I think her dad owns like oil or an energy company or something.
So,
like,
so her family has
have
money. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But I'm hearing conflicted stuff though, because they said she was being evicted from her condo right here.
But what if she's an alcoholic and she can handle finances?
Yeah, and her
doesn't
dad
matter
was
if daddy
like,
has money. Daddy will bail her out later.
Yeah, true. Because I think they said her rent was like $10K a month, and so it must have been a pretty nice part. Yeah,
I feel like she could afford
she
that.
live in Miami.
I don't have a doubt with like OnlyFans.
Like with her OnlyFans or with her family.
Just on her own, I think that she could afford that.
How much do you think she was making?
Kicked Christian out. I didn't know that she was getting evicted.
Yeah. Well, they're saying that she was actually she had been served eviction.
Well, that
notice.
makes sense though, because they had so many calls from neighbors, like in complaints, for the abuse, like fights and people like reporting it.
Yeah.
So like you could get evicted. You're in a luxury apartment.
Yeah, it might
in
not have been
Miami.
financially.
Was
It might have been like drama.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
building that she lived in is like very,
The
very
Parigio,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like if you're around a certain type of people, they're not going to put up with that. Like that behavior's insane, you know?
So being around Christian, do you think that he like has it in him, like he would beat her?
No,
I
don't see
You don't
that.
see that?
But
I
I also
never got bad vibes from him ever.
No, I know abusers can hide it. I still don't get that.
I didn't get
him.
that energy feel
Yeah.
from him. But again, you only know what you know, and you know what I mean? And if she did
Yeah.
go through that absolutely sucks, you know? So it's hard to be like, fuck this person or whatever. Like there's a lot of anger around it. You know, we've both felt a whirlwind of emotions, you know? It's difficult.
But the case blew up so big, you know, with the attorneys. They might have to like locate a jury who have never heard of her case, or just people who like
That's
indicate
not gonna
that.
happen.
How would they
unbiased
do
opinion.
that?
I'll let her.
Is that possible, or?
Oh yeah, it's possible. I'm gonna
Like with all this publicity of the
I'm
case,
gonna
you
say
know?
I'm probably one of the last people on the planet to have heard of this case. I think it's possible. It doesn't have to be. I mean, you can have a jury that has heard of this case. Like the question is, can you remain impartial? Can you keep an open mind? Can you listen to the evidence and then determine a verdict based on the evidence, not based on what you've heard or you know?
For example, R. Kelly, right?
Right.
He just made a motion.
Oh, R. Kelly trial. Here we go.
His attorneys made a motion to exclude any jurors who have seen any portions of the show, right? The
documentary?
series, the documentary, right?
And so he's allowed to do that.
No, because the judge was like, nah.
Oh, so the judge has to agree. Okay.
Yeah, so it's what the judge, determines.
Yeah.
it's going to be the right thing to do.
If OJ had a fair trial, she can certainly get a fair trial, because I feel like everyone knew about the OJ Simpson trial.
knew
So
about
if they
You
can find a
took it
jury
back
for
to
him, they
OJ.
can find an impartial jury for her.
Yeah. No,
Do y'all think OJ was guilty or innocent?
He was guilty.
Raise your hand if you think OJ Simpson was guilty.
Ooh, y'all are good black people.
Honestly, I never paid attention.
You
I
scratch
have
your head.
my own trauma.
I'm gonna scratch my head on it, man.
I don't know. I just want his Bronco. That's all I
want
care
that
about.
glove. Oh, the iconic glove scene. He just spit it on. He said, "Doesn't fit. Doesn't fit."
Which was a spontaneous thing and a mistake by the prosecution. Like I've being a lawyer, I've kind of studied
But
this
are
case.
they insane? Leather gloves absorb it was blood. Of course it wouldn't fit. Like, why would they? That was insane.
Right. So Johnny Cochran knew if he kind of goaded one of the prosecutors that, like basically don't give him a try on the glove then. If you feel confident, give him a try on the glove.
Johnny Cochran was smart, man. That dude made so much money.
And so the way he tried to put the glove on was with his hands outstretched as fat and wide as they would go when trying to put this leather glove on. You're not going to fit no hand like that, right? Like,
yeah. But now on the Courtney thing, as everyone knows, Courtney Tailor, she's white, and, Christian was a black man from Africa. And, it's widely held belief that the delay in charging her was due to the fact that she is white and a pretty young blonde, comes from money, and Christian was like a black man.
Absolutely.
Such comments are plentiful on our podcast as well as in the blogs. Do you think race played a role in this?
Absolutely.
What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
I have
That's
had,
what's so angry.
Yeah, I have had numerous clients who were black.
Mm-hmm.
And have a stronger case, a much stronger case for self-defense than she has, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or stand your ground than she would ever have, right?
Yeah, because in Florida you have the stand your ground law.
Stand your ground as well. And so, but for them, it didn't matter. You're arrested same day.
And they're not getting out in like 24 hours?
She was in Hawaii at
Shit,
rehab.
She got to
you're
trot
gonna
around
be-
in a bar in a nice outfit and like.
I wondered
in
if
the
she like meet
area.
anybody in Hawaii, like a dude, like
So what do
and
you
hook
hear
up
for?
with
Oh, I
people.
killed my
You're
ex-
She
gonna
probably was
be on
turning
a
up in
case
Hawaii.
and
I feel
She's
like.
never
20
again.
right?
You think every guy would be scared to like?
No,
I feel like it's always that one dude at the bars who be like,
I
"Look,
guarantee.
I don't care if you killed him or not, baby. I want to take you home tonight." It's always gonna be that dude that don't care.
Somebody go there.
I have no idea if like her OnlyFans is still up.
It has to be popping after
Dude,
that.
she's
Like,
getting so
because
much
there's-
money.
She's not the only OnlyFans creator to stab their boyfriend.
Is that? Oh, really? Yeah. I bet that's
There's like,
So is
why
that a
is
thing,
that?
or?
That's apparently a thing.
Wow.
You know what
But
I
you got to
mean?
look at it. Y'all females, y'all will date a dude who's told you
that word female.
No, women, you women will date a dude that's literally told you, hey, I've hurt people. Some guys have maybe killed people. You guys have dated. You guys, a lot of girls have dated some gangsters. Let's be honest.
Chapo.
A lot of girls have dated some gangster guys, and y'all still are attracted to him. Some women are actually more attracted if she knows that he's got a past.
Dangerous, you know.
It's like I guess the bad boy.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Like a bad boy trope.
We had girls on the podcast another episode, and a young lady said that, you know, she doesn't want to have sex with him if he doesn't have the gun on the dresser or wearing it during.
I mean, we're in dangerous times now, so I gotta give it a bid on that one.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I hear a lot of stuff.
That would scare me.
Yeah,
it'd be too close to me. I'm like, you have too much access, and I'm right there.
Yeah,
and I don't trust anyone.
I'm good.
Oh, no,
I'd be too in my head.
Put that in the safe first.
Yeah, let's lock that shit up.
How am I supposed to come if there's a gun right there?
What were we talking about?
So what type of jury, though, do you guys think would be more likely to convict Courtney, and what type would be more likely to acquit her?
Well, not black women, because they've apparently stepped back from Twitter. Black
speaking
Twitter
of that,
said,
you know, Christian actually received a lot of backlash. Some old messages on Twitter actually came back to haunt him. Pull up some of these messages here.
Oh, wow, I'm blind.
So back in the day, now, guys, keep in mind, too, this was in 2012. This guy was like a kid.
He was 16, right?
He was 16.
About 16, yeah.
But this is what he said. Full of ignorant black women, the way black girls disgrace themselves on TV. Once again, I'm tired of these black girls in my government class.
Yeah, he looked like he just got his heart broken.
He looked like he got hurt by a black girl, and now he blaming her.
He got dumped at prom or something, you know?
I don't know where he grew up exactly, but if they lived in Texas and maybe he grew up in a predominantly
he was
like,
bullied by black people.
like white.
They called him an African booty scratcher, and then he started making tweets like this. And fuck black women.
Now, how do you feel about the tweets? I mean, do you think we should judge him from that, or that's so long ago? You being, you know, a woman of color, how did you feel about that?
So I understand that it's 2012 and he was 16, but I still feel like what he said was a bit much. Like, you do have some type of home training. You're raised by a black woman. There are black women in your family. I just feel like that's extremely disrespectful to say at any age.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like that doesn't really hold grounds in regards to this case.
Yeah.
Because he's also
It's like this guy was murdered, man. Like, we should show some sympathy.
Like,
I don't care what you typed on Twitter. You don't deserve to die for it.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. I just think that our environments shape us in ways, and then when we grow, maybe we step into new environments that like teach us a new perspective, and people grow and people do change. I personally have never heard him say like anything like that, but I do think those tweets are absolutely like disgusting, and it's sad to see. But I don't think that he deserved to die or not have support. Like, there's bigger things that this case also represents, and so just making sure that his family gets like the right trial and everything. And
if they were consistent
rambling
over
now.
the years,
Yeah, facts.
maybe,
You know?
it would be different.
Yeah.
If they were consistent over the years, but it was what, 2016?
Yeah.
2012.
Like, what if he had trauma? Like, what if his mom, or I don't know.
Heart, you know, she didn't take him to prom, so like,
Yeah.
that one black woman, you know.
But also, Courtney was not going to kill him over some Twitter comments about black women, because she was clearly fetishizing black men. So she doesn't give
No,
a
she
what
only
ignorant
liked
shit.
black guys. She was telling the truth.
Well, I mean, she said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
We don't know her enough to like know her
to-
past. Like, we've been in rooms with her, we've hung out with her, but that's
She
very
was-
surface level, you know.
Yeah.
So
She said some shit on this podcast.
So before the podcast, you weren't ever like weirded out. She never like did anything weird around you, or like said anything that you were kind of like, she might be weird, or.
No, the first time I met her, she was blackout drunk, and she like cried in my arms
for
Really?
hours.
for hours.
What did she cry about?
I honestly was also blackout drunk. So
Oh, so you don't remember? Okay.
I wasn't.
Were you crying in her arms too?
No, I actually
"You're
walked
okay."
into the room, and Emily was like, "Here you go. This is for you." And
I have to
passed me Courtney, and this is how I met her. And like, I had met her like hello, but like, this is the first real interaction we had. She was clearly triggered, and clearly intoxicated. And so like those two together don't go well, you know, and she was struggling with some stuff, and it was really sad to see. And so I met her and I was like, well, if I was on a content trip and I was by myself and I think she had maybe like gotten in a fight with Christian or something, like, but I just wrote that off. That's the first time meeting, like, oh, typical drunk girl.
Because I mean, looking at her profile, you know, she looked like she had the perfect life. She was a beautiful girl.
No, there was definitely.
Do you think she was like
definitely
depressed?
Past drama there. There was definitely.
You think she was going through her own like?
Absolutely, and I think she was battling with her own demons. I like when
So
I
do you
met
think
her,
she was unhappy?
Nice.
Like,
yeah.
so she was unhappy, probably.
I just think that some people choose different vices to numb themselves and numb the pain, and it's really hard to sometimes look internally and work through that. And a lot of us have been there. So like there was no judgment when I met her, and I literally had her in my arms and I let her cry, and we took a nap for like 3 hours, and I woke up. And that was after I had like smoked with Christian right before that.
Was she jealous?
Empathy.
Was she jealous with you around Christian?
No, not at all. No.
Because, you know, her mother actually told the police in a statement that when Courtney called her, she heard her like yelling to Christian that he was lying. So some kind of argument.
What if it's the rumors flying about how like apparently he stole money from her? Like I know that's been said before, so I don't know if it was about that.
Oh yeah, so I did hear some rumors about that.
Maybe.
What was that about?
I don't know. I've never.
There was a podcast that like mentioned it, and that's the only like info that we have about that situation. But it was
so she clearly had more money than him though, probably, or no?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And then Courtney, apparently found out that he was like taking money or something, so tried to like kick him out and ended the relationship. And then they got back together, and that was like the night that like went down. So that's the extent of what we.
And
know
now
about
you
that.
guys, what was your verdict? Did you say guilty or innocent? What was your thought on that?
Being that
based
you
on
knew
what
both
based
on what I know, it seems like she's guilty, but there is that, you know, small chance that there was stuff that's going on. Like I absolutely know that there's going to be more evidence coming out. Like it's just, I feel like it's going to get, I don't know.
I don't think so. I think
you don't think so?
What do you think? What do you think she's guilty or innocent?
I feel like there's people who
I think
it's going to come
guilty,
out.
and I think people. It's natural to come up with a narrative for someone, you know, oh, well, maybe something happened, but sometimes people do just it, you know, for no good reason.
That's what I mean, yeah.
For, you know, no excusable reason. They just do bad stuff. So
you think she just snapped?
Yeah,
I think
she did. I mean, look at how she was aggressive in the elevator. I don't think it's fair to say, oh, you know, trauma. Everyone has trauma. Everyone has their issues, but not everyone goes and stabs their boyfriend. Stabs, not murders.
Yeah.
So, no, I think she did it, you know.
Yeah, but I've also seen people who have been abused, and I've seen them react, and I've seen them go crazy because someone pushed them to that limit. And like when you see someone who goes through that, like there's so much to it. But based on what I've seen, she has always been the abuser in all of the situations. Like I haven't seen anything come out about Christian. Like even the way that he handled the elevator scene, I think that was a stand-up way for a guy to handle it. How else do you handle that? Other guys would have stopped her.
It's a tough spot.
The whole internet
being a
was
man,
filled up with
like
guys
time you
right
hit a
saying
girl,
that they
like
would have hit
that's
her.
it. You got to be careful. It is a lot of crazy ass girls out here. I haven't been stabbed before, but I've been
looking for
attacked
volunteers.
before, man. You know what I'm saying? There's crazy girls out here. You know, we don't know what happened. We don't know. All we know is he's dead.
Well,
we do know
that her ex-boyfriend came out talking
ex-boyfriend?
about Courtney's. That
what happened? What did he say?
Like tried to stab him too.
No, you lying. What?
Yeah, but that was in the.
So she tried to
watch the documentary or something.
So she tried to stab someone else?
I heard that there was an ex-boyfriend who came out and said that she has a past of abuse. If you Google, it's on the thing that you sent me. There's like a documentary, and your podcast is included, the whole clip and everything, like on YouTube that Emily sent. And I swore I listened to it.
What's her
Here's
ex?
my thing, right? She's getting, I think, still a lot of leeway and benefit of a doubt, right?
Yeah.
Especially
benefit
for
of doubt, absolutely.
For somebody who's, you know, even taking the act, like,
Yeah.
you know, and I gotta think there's a reason why, right? Like there's
You think race is playing a big part in this?
Group of people
Yeah.
who,
Absolutely.
particularly white women.
She's privileged. I mean, let's just be honest.
Who will get, and white guys
Yeah.
too, who will get, this benefit of a doubt. Let
Yeah.
go and I'll let you go for 5 months and with no charges, right?
Let's figure this out.
When we know you're the killer, right? And we'll figure it out in the meantime.
Yeah.
Instead of, all right, well, we highly suspect, we have probable cause to believe you did this.
We'll figure it out while you're locked up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think don't get me wrong. I think race play is an issue, but if she really is wealthy, if she really is an influence, if her parents really are wealthy, right? That's also economics, right? If I'm poor, you can lock me up. People can protest all day long, but you're probably not about to get a high-powered attorney that's shit out of my department, my city, right? If you're rich and you have those kind of resources and you do have scant evidence or, because I don't know right now if it was self-defense or not, and I lock your ass up for 5 months, most likely I'm probably going to get fired. My supervisor's probably going to get fired. My city's probably
who is her lawyer? Does she have a good lawyer?
Right. So
I don't know.
She wouldn't be locked up for...
Frank Petro's the lawyer.
But
is he pretty big?
But let's be clear. Even if she got arrested, she wouldn't be locked up. She would have gotten out.
She probably would have posted.
But she would have posted bond. And she would have probably had restrictions, right? Like so, there are people who will catch a murder case, murder 1, murder 2, murder 3. Murder 1's a lot harder to get bond for, but they'll you get bond and you're gonna have an ankle bracelet. You know what I mean? Like, and they're gonna say, all right, you can't leave. There are some people who judges who said you can't leave their house at all. Right? So they can't go to work. They can't do anything. Some people are allowed to go to work, right? It's judge dependent.
Depends on
right,
the judge.
The facts, the judge, all of those things. But they could have done that to her.
Absolutely.
And
I'm just
not
saying
let her
it's
go to
not just
Hawaii.
racist. I'm saying very rarely I feel
It's money
it's
too.
just
Yeah, money
racist.
plays
It's also economics.
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind the fact that if she is a rich, also white girl, like that factored into it.
So in the judicial system, I know you guys are attorneys. You might not be allowed to answer this, but is it really all about the money, like they say?
Money plays a large
Like, can you
factor
really
in it.
pay off everybody, like the
Have you never
judges?
seen
No,
Chicago, the movie?
Can everyone really be
Chicago,
Is it really like that?
Yeah.
Because I look at these documentaries, even like Suge Knight and stuff. He was saying like he paid, like he gave the lawyer, here's $5 million. Like, give me, like, is it? Can you pay? Can you buy your way out?
People are corrupt, and so it doesn't matter what job you're in. It matters
Someone
who you
gonna take a
are,
check, yeah.
and somebody is always going to make bad decisions. Sometimes,
I don't think every judge is going to take a check.
No.
I don't think every prosecutor is going to take a check. But I don't feel like people who are really trying to influence the system are going to just rely on money, right? I can threaten you.
Yeah.
I mean, like right
Exactly,
now,
yeah.
Judge Reinhardt, who's the magistrate judge that signed the Trump raid warrant, I mean, has high protection because literally everyone's trying to kill him right now, right?
Oh,
Like,
really? Wow.
Absolutely,
Holy shit.
absolutely. So
That's
it's-
crazy.
it's
So
not-
it can be dangerous.
Oh yeah. So I don't
Like being a
think-
lawyer is dangerous sometimes,
right. I think-
depending on your clients, right?
yeah,
absolutely.
lawyers, judges, but all that to say, like, can everyone in the system be influenced? Probably, but is the influence always monetary? Not necessarily.
It could be like fear too.
Secrets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
secrets.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think about the whole situation with like Young Thug and like Gunna, the rap stars from Atlanta? Were locked up, and a lot of the court system, they've been using like their lyrics against them, like reading some of the lyrics and like
Bobby Shmurda.
saying some of the lines, like, "Oh, on this song, you said kill the judge." Dude, like, what do you like? Should that be used, or what do you think?
I
You
don't
think
think
they
that's
dick
Telling
don't?
on themselves, man.
Think they? Yeah. Is that the new thing? Like,
Wait,
Yeah,
there's
but
no
it's
pretension.
a form of entertainment. So isn't that like I could get up on stage and tell a stand-up comedy bit and
But it's
lie
not
at
real,
lie
yeah.
at them about it, like talk about me doing a legal bit, and it could be
Yeah.
a fake story.
Are
Like
there,
Right,
is there
but when the-
corroborating evidence?
Yeah, so when there's facts that go
Then-
with that, right? Like
right.
when
Then it is a confession.
right. So like when I was,
I think they go harder on rappers and actors. Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
tell
feel
you
like
right now,
I've
like let's
exaggerated
say Will
shit.
Smith plays, or let's say who Denzel. Denzel plays like a dirty cop, or let's say he plays a killer. Everyone knows that's entertainment, that's fake. But let's say I go in the studio and make a fake rap song and say something, they're gonna be like, "Oh, he said he did this." I'm like, this is all entertainment. But I guess with rap, it's like you're supposed to be speaking the
supposed
real
to be.
truth. It's supposed to be real. Whereas acting is like it's a script. But these days, a lot of these rappers just be
Yeah.
lying and shit.
How many people are like, I got bands and they're broken?
Like I just bought a Lamborghini and yeah.
Everyone's lying. Everyone's capping.
Yeah. So before I was even an attorney, I was in law school doing an internship in federal court, and while I was there was a rare murder case in federal court that's generally not in federal court, than in state court. But the prosecutors, they played Dogg's a whole song about
they played the song
in details about how he went to his house, loaded him up on the porch, took his chain, this and then he seen with the chain.
They like said the whole thing.
Yeah, he laid it out.
Like, you're right, because a lot of rappers be like saying specific details.
Yeah.
Like,
I personally don't think that your rap lyrics should be used, but I also think it's stupid to record a confession.
To like snitch on yourself.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
like that's the difference. Like you can say I got you in bands, but if we check in all your accounts and you living out of your mama, like there's no corroborating evidence. Right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
nothing that shows that you're being truthful.
Yeah, yeah.
But
yeah.
if you are like literally rapping, or what's the other thing? Like you Facebook living your murder right now.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem.
So
right?
do you think that Young Thug and
Fabulous.
Gunna will be able to beat these charges, or you think what do you guys think?
I don't know that I will say I haven't followed that one as closely as I followed some of these others, but I have heard they have.
I think they're trying to charge him with RICO.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
shit.
definitely charged him with RICO.
Yeah.
All I've seen is
Wait,
the
what's
indictment.
RICO?
RICO is a big one. It's hard.
Those are
Like
the drug
racketeering.
ones.
So that means like
fucking
you're
big ass.
part of this whole
enterprise,
group,
right?
Right. This
Yeah.
enterprise. Yeah. Racketeering enterprise where, even if you weren't responsible for selling the drugs, even if you weren't responsible for the murders, right? Because you were in that chain of command, you're going to be held just as accountable.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That indictment is pretty lengthy and it's pretty detailed. That office does not like to charge lightly.
And they said they were coming down on another big rap star soon.
Uh-oh.
And like they're going crazy. A couple new cases.
Do you know who?
Didn't Bobby Shmurda go to jail for the confessions on his songs? I think.
That was part of it.
Yeah.
That was part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Them songs were sounding a little guilty though.
I feel like if I killed somebody, I'd just keep my mouth shut.
Right.
You know what I'm
Emily?
saying?
Right. Let me keep talking about my band.
Yeah.
Well, Snoop Dogg had a song "Murder" was the case that they gave, but he got off because he claimed self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
So he killed someone.
Right.
Gucci Man killed someone. He got off. He beat it. Self-defense.
Yeah.
A lot of these rappers have killed people and they beat it.
Yeah. Gucci Man.
Off of
but
self-defense.
they came into his house and so he,
So maybe if Courtney starts rapping, she'll beat this murder charge. It's always
right
an option.
hand, left hand. I didn't know where to go.
Oh man. I think abusers are very good at hiding that they're abusive most of the time. And in the elevator video, she probably was fucked up and didn't realize that she was being recorded, and so she let her mask out, or maybe she was just abusing him wherever, because people don't report about men. They don't care that men are being abused. They don't view it as abuse, because then you're not a man if you can get hurt by a woman, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think it was obvious just in that video that she was the one abusing and coming after him, and he was literally just trying to get away.
Pull up a picture of him.
And I'm sure for
You
him
see a
it's
couple
hard
of
to come to terms with you being abused by a woman. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
as a man it's like, yeah, she's
I mean,
crazy,
we go
she's
through
tough.
that.
That's abuse.
Yeah.
We didn't know about
I'm
it.
serious. I used
Like
to
we
see
never
it.
saw it personally.
Yeah.
The only times we saw her upset and crying, but she wasn't angry. She was just
Yeah.
hurt, And
That does not look
Yeah,
like.
but
But they
the
were
podcast
always
Like they
so,
look cute. Like
were
they don't look
always
like
so,
a toxic couple. Look at them.
They look
Yeah.
sweet
so
and like
different.
cute
They also
together.
look
Social
Right.
media is
Right?
deceiving.
Social media from that podcast clip that does not look like the same.
Because
thing.
even us like knowing her, she wasn't like mean. Like she didn't.
Yeah, she seemed really nice. She was nice to me
The
though.
only thing is, I was like, oh,
She was
she's
here.
been through
She
some
actually kissed
shit
me.
and
She
she
kissed
drinks
me
a
on the
little.
show.
Like
Yeah, she kissed me.
that's why we liked her. Like we were like,
Oh
Yeah. She
She's like, oh, rich
said
black
black man?
man.
Her favorite
Right, man?
man.
What? I'm
That's a better picture. That other
Being
picture, he was real
inebriated
grumpy,
is
yeah,
no
man.
excuse, but
No.
being
Right.
inebriated can can really change who you are. Like
You think so?
we are.
Yes.
I'm not saying it changes who you are, but it definitely accelerates it. I think you do most of the time have a governor on the way you're going to behave sober. But when you are pissy drunk,
And
then you
off.
I wonder was she high at the time?
mental
I think she was
health
high.
trauma, like getting triggered. Like there's people who get triggered and they black out. Like
Some people
sober,
do black out. Yeah,
sober,
yeah,
they
do,
black
yeah.
out. They don't remember. Like I've had conversations with my mom where she's been super abusive and she doesn't remember a thing in the morning.
Raise your hand if you've ever gotten into a fight with the guy that you were dating and it got kind of wild. Not this wild, but you know what I mean?
like a fist fight.
Yeah, like
a fist fight.
a physical altercation with a guy.
I threw pumpkins at him, pans. It was intense.
See,
I'm
look.
a firm believer. If I hit a
deserved it,
guy,
though.
I better be ready to take that punch back. So I mean, I would think something of him if he hit me.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna hit you,
Yeah.
I need to be woman enough to take that hit back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I would never hit somebody and expecting them not to hit me, and I'm like,
Raise your
I
hand if
don't
you've
wanna
ever
hurt
been
my
hit.
face.
If you ever been hit by someone like of the opposite you were dating.
No.
Oh,
I've been hit by somebody, but not that I've been dating.
not that I was dating.
I've been hit by someone I was dating.
I'm glad you got
I'm
away.
gonna be the
Stunt.
first to say it. My ex-girlfriend hit me.
That's not okay.
It's
I've
not.
never even slapped somebody. I
No.
always felt that
Really?
was wrong. Yeah.
Definitely.
If you grow up as a kid and
I
you
think
see
almost
your
any
parents
man
like
has. Like most men have had some part of their past where they've dated a girl who will fall, call up and hit you. Because
and I think women need to take accountability for that too. I think that for a long time women always thought it was okay because they were like, oh, we're like weaker or men can take it, but that's like not the reality. That behavior is not okay in any case.
Women
Right.
know
But
who they can
especially,
get
you know-
away with it with. You know what I mean? Like the guy threw the pumpkins at.
Well,
I had some
abusers-
back up there. I was like, all right.
But what
keep
about the
trying
stand
it.
your ground law? Like, is that like self-defense? So could she say this is stand my ground? Like he was coming at me. Could she use that law? Or?
No, it's a little bit different. It's like the protection of your house and home or your car, right?
Oh, okay.
And so stand your ground. It's kind of generally limited to when you have the right to already be where you are, right? So you're in somebody's house. We're in your house.
But she was in her house, right?
Right.
But was he down? Is he living there too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived.
Or was he visiting? So he lived there with her technically,
Yeah,
right?
They moved to Miami together.
So he's on the lease, kind of,
Right.
or
So-
whatever.
So here's an
I don't know.
example,
Yeah.
right? If you're in your house or your car, and you get into it with somebody. Let's say you get into it with somebody in the hallway, and you're yelling, and he's like, you know what? And he comes in there and starts, trying to hit you. Right? He's automatically committing a felony. That is burglary.
Just
by
'cause it's in the
entering
house,
by entering your home with the intent to commit another crime, and assault, which is trying to hit you, or battery, which is actually hitting you. That's a forcible felony. It's a aggravated, either aggravated battery or burgbat, what we call it in the criminal defense world. And you can pull out your gun and shoot them, right?
Yeah.
And you would be within your legal right to do so.
in Florida.
In Florida.
Wait,
right?
so that
In
makes
Florida.
so if she had just
Sunshine
kicked him
State.
out a week prior, that gives her kind of room in that. Like,
But not if
defense.
not if he's like
of
not
her
legally
saying like it was
living there.
self-defense, like he came into
Well,
the house because he wasn't living there anymore.
Against that's stand your ground, which is different than self-defense.
Yeah, he went to get
He
food.
was invited in, right? So
Yeah.
like, he's not committing a burglary he's not entering the house with the intent to.
Right.
With stand your ground, you don't have to be reasonable, right? So if you get into an argument with a guy and he comes in and hits you one time, and you go and grab your pistol.
So if someone comes in here and punches me, I'm allowed to shoot him and kill him, and I'm good.
And walk
Basically,
away.
yeah.
You're black, you're gonna get.
If I'm
arrested.
black, well,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna be an uphill
I'ma get
battle.
locked up.
You're gonna get
Okay.
Under the
Under the
law,
law,
you
right.
were right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
But
yeah.
as
We'll
a black
send you
man,
to
you're still gonna get
rehab.
arrested right there on the spot, right? But
Yeah.
under the law, that's the
Technically,
protection,
yeah,
right?
man.
You don't have to be reasonable, right? Like
Yeah.
that's not reasonable because somebody came in and punched you. You just pull out a pistol and shoot them, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not necessarily reasonable.
Yeah.
But reasonableness is not the standard there. Under the self-defense, reasonableness is the standard. Like, did I reasonably fear that they were going to, try to kill me?
Yeah.
Right? Did they try to, punching somebody with a fist fight is not lethal, lethal force, right? And
I
you can
wonder
only
how much
use
she
lethal
paid
force.
though. Like her lawyer, like how much all this legal? It got to be at least like 100 bands. She's in.
Probably.
Maybe more.
She's probably paying top dollar, right? She's probably paying top dollar.
Probably like 100 bands.
More?
I
Like
wouldn't
200?
say. I don't know. I would say more, but somewhere between.
No
probably-
less than like 30.
Yeah, like
Oh, definitely not.
no,
Definitely not.
Like, like,
She's like, my rate is higher than that.
right? Like, maybe,
Well, for the
you might
people
be
that
able to
can't
find-
afford you guys.
Yeah, you might be able to find somebody to do like a murder case for like maybe 50.
So a murder is
cheap
expensive.
like a cheap. Oh yeah.
So you're gonna spend like 50K getting
right.
a murder charge.
Murders
Oh.
and attempted murders. Yeah.
Damn, 50 grand
Good
minimum.
to know.
It's a bad investment, guys. Just go to
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah.
It's much cheaper. Okay, it's like $125 an hour with insurance.
When you have a client for a murder charge, do they get to tell you if they did the murder?
Yeah, like on the movies. Do you really ask them like,
or
yo?
can you not know, or is it conflict of interest?
You
If
need to know everything that you can.
Really?
As
They
your attorney,
absolutely
I need to know every.
You
fact.
need to know the truth.
Right, I need to know every fact because if I find out a fact later, right, I'm taken by surprise. I can't protect you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to know all the facts.
So
I
would
can
you
say- so I
keep
can
the case
plan.
like they like, look, bro, like I'm guilty. Are you still gonna like defend them?
Well, everybody deserves
Everybody
the right
deserves
to
a
defense.
defense.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody
true.
deserves the
Everybody
right to
deserves
defense. Right.
Don't ever answer questions without a
Right,
lawyer.
right.
Don't let them
Yes.
set you up. Don't
Yeah.
let them tell you. But if you're not cooperating, you don't have something to hide. I don't care if you have nothing to hide. Do not
Do.
ever answer questions.
Do
Nothing.
It is your constitutional right not to talk, right?
Mhm.
Like there's
To
a whole
plead the
case
fifth,
law
right?
that
Mhm.
says that, but that's even something different. It's your Miranda right. You do not have to say anything.
Yep.
Most people don't think they can do that though, cause like they don't tell you. Cause I seen a YouTube video where like this dude got pulled over and he like refused to roll the window. And he said it was his right. Is it true you don't have to talk to someone if you get pulled over?
So you
like,
do-
what's
you-
the law with that? If I get pulled over right now,
There are some, especially when you're driving, right?
Mhm.
There are some things that you will have to do, right? They pull you over, you got to stop, right?
Yeah.
If they want your license, you got to give it to them, right?
Okay.
Especially as the driver.
but you don't have to really roll down your window fully.
You can roll down your window to a certain extent.
little bit,
It's gonna-
okay.
It's gonna piss them off, right?
Yeah, yeah. But legally, you don't have to roll it down all the
My
way.
mom always told me, she's like, if you're ever fucking drinking, that's the
But-
Boston accent.
But
Like roll down your window like this.
but
Yeah.
it's gonna create a tense situation, and
They'll
so
get
that's
pissed,
not
yeah.
that's not. I would say the way that I would recommend
I
to
would.
do it,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Like you don't
Best
want to
thing is,
make them
yeah.
more pissed off.
More
at you,
pissed,
right?
yeah.
There's your rights under the law, and then there's probably the way you should behave if you want to get out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
What about a search? Because I've been in a situation before where I got pulled over by a cop, and he just said "fuck out" of the car, and I got out. I was scared, and he put me in the back of a police car. He didn't say nothing else to me. He just went and searched the car. He didn't find anything, and then he just walked to the police car, opened the door, said "get the fuck out." I got out and I drove away. Never happened again. But I'm like, yo, this had to be an illegal search. Like, you didn't
That
even.
sounds very. You didn't read.
It probably was right now. It could have. The standard is reasonable suspicion or probable cause,
Yeah.
and so if he had reasonable suspicion or probable cause to believe you were drinking so heavily and like drinking and driving, he saw you take a swig of something and
it was nothing. It was just random.
Right,
Yeah,
it was a water bottle, right? And he's like, "Oh, I saw," and then he swerved, right?
got to
Right,
be
now-
some reason. Yeah.
Right. So they have to have some reason, right? Or if they smell marijuana, that's the catchphrase, right? Like especially in the black community. We smelled marijuana from his car. They searched nothing in there.
There's
You
no
know,
way to
not a
like
stem.
quantify if they actually smell it. Can they just
Exactly,
say
yeah.
it's
It's kinda like that dry-
they
that
can
gray
always
area.
say, I smelled marijuana.
But I
Yeah.
thought they weren't allowed to like do that anymore. I thought that
Well-
was like not a thing anymore.
Right. So in some states, it's not.
What
Right.
if you, let's say, smoke in your car in a state like Cali, but your landlord doesn't let you smoke in the house? So you go to your car and you smoke in your car. And then you drive after the next day, and your car still smells like weed, but you're not high.
Right.
Like, are you doing anything wrong?
Are you doing anything wrong at that point in time? No, but is it going to smell like you are? That gives them
And they can
reasonable.
still search?
That's the whole thing. That gives
Can
them
they take you to
reasonable
jail
suspicion.
if it smells like it?
If you smoke so much that the smell traveled with you to the car, and then they see your eyes red and low, they see you talking real kind of crazy, you're talking real slow, and you're exhibiting symptoms.
Sound like me.
Those
That's
are,
right.
those
I'm
are
like-
symptoms of having allergies.
I'm feeling those symptoms
Like,
right
you
now.
could
You're not
be
driving. No, I'm kidding.
Driving and you weren't drinking and literally driving. You got plastered at a bar. You still can't get in the car, even though you're like, but I was
Okay, so if I am high and I drive, I can go to jail for that.
Well, I'm saying if I'm not high and I drive and they pull me over and they smell weed, and can I say I don't consent to a search? Just like, does that work?
No, they don't need your consent if they have reasonable suspicion, right? So like, no, if your car smells like a bunch of weed and you're behind the wheel, they don't need your consent to search to see if, you know, you may be driving under the influence, because if you are, you're actively engaged in a crime, right? Mm-hmm. Consent to search your car is they're like, hey, I have no reason to search your car. I just want to do it. Will you let me do it? Mm-hmm. And then you can be like, no, I don't consent. Right. Like you let me know if there's ever going to be that situation. Right. I highly doubt.
She can sue him for you.
I've actually been in the situation. I was in college and I was driving down from Michigan, where I went to school, and then to Miami with some friends for spring break, right? And I think we got stopped in, I want to say Alabama or Mississippi, somewhere around there in the middle of the night. Right? Driving my car. I'm taking the nap break, right? And I wake up and
I'm like, oh shit. Were you guys pretty high that night or?
No.
Oh, okay. Did the car smell like anything? Or?
No, it didn't. It didn't smell like anything at all. But you know, the cop goes, "Where you guys go? Let me see these IDs and this and that. Can I search the car?" No. Right.
So you said no. You said no.
Yeah, because we had nothing. We were literally just on our way to go have the fun.
A lot of people don't know. You can say no. Like she said, though.
If they ask,
if they don't have any real,
if they ask, you can say
if they have the right to do it without your consent, they're not going to ask.
They're not even going to ask.
So if they ask you, can I search your car? If they ask you, can we come in? You know, they come to your house, ask you, can we come in? No, fuck, you can't. I'll come out.
Hey man, well, all I can say is, we're going to see what happens. Let's do this. Let's go around the table, and I want you guys to guess how much time you think she's going to do. And maybe, you know, a few months from now, we'll see who won this challenge.
We're betting?
Yeah, we're betting how much time you personally think she's going to do. Not legally, but just if you have to personally guess. We'll start over here with you. How much time do you think she's going to do?
I'll give her like 30 years.
30 years?
Whoa. For murder too?
She did. Like,
I'm gonna tell you right now, she'll never. She's not gonna do 30 years. You crazy? You think she's gonna do 30?
I mean, yeah, probably not. But
30. That's like murder one.
Yeah.
I think second degree murder is just like max is like 20 or 15 per second.
Yeah.
No?
What's the average? Do you guys like the average length? Because
it's not first degree.
Away for that.
Second degree is like 5 to 10.
No, it's not. It's not 5 to 10. It's 20.
Yeah. Oh, it is 20.
Yeah,
okay.
The max is 20.
What's the minimum? Or there is not like
there isn't a minimum, but you're gonna spend time, right?
Okay. So she said 30.
Okay, wait.
So
20.
Okay, 20.
She's getting the max.
How much you say?
Okay, I think Snow White is gonna do a good 6 months and
6 months,
and a nice
damn.
jail, and then probation for like 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking that.
She'll be the
And she might do
Turner
like
of
house
murders.
arrest or something, or like a federal jail. She's not gonna go anywhere too shady.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if she does get out, like she's gonna be famous as shit. They might make a movie about her.
She's gonna be like the Emmett Till lady. She's gonna
If she hires the right PR, if she gets away with it, she's gonna have a book. She's gonna be a Hulu special. Her OnlyFans is gonna triple.
That makes me sick to my stomach.
I know it's up, but let's just be honest. Like,
I know.
What do you think she'll get?
Not enough. Not enough. I don't know. I just like it. It's
a year, 2 years.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things that play a part into it, and unfortunately, I don't think
it's gonna be like 20. It's not gonna be 20.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet everything I love that she will not do a day over 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question. Are we talking about if she pleads, if it takes a plea, or if she's found guilty by the jury?
I don't know. Just either way, however she's gonna finagle her way out of this, I can't see it. I can't see it. What do you think?
I think if she's found guilty, 7 to 10 years. I think she'll do 2
of good behavior
max, and then she'll have probation for like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a registry for murderers? Like there's offenders?
Yeah, we should be able to look that up. Like if I meet someone, I need to know if you killed somebody before.
Right?
Is there a database I can like?
There should be a database.
I guess you just type their name in Google, see their mugshot.
It's public record. It's public record.
I mean, Nicki Minaj's address is on the sex offender website.
Oh,
Because of her
Really?
husband.
Bro, you trying to get the Nicki
No,
clan
I
mad at
don't.
me, bro?
Oh,
Damn.
Lord.
Hey,
No,
shout
we
out to
love the
Nicki,
barbs.
man.
I was like, this
You
is
better
a
not
pitch
bring up
right
Nicki
now.
or Beyonce. The internet will come for
Last
you.
time I brought up
I
Nicki
love
Minaj versus Rihanna, it was
Oh,
Nicki
goodness.
Minaj, Rihanna, and Beyonce and Lil Kim. It was a big thing on the internet. So what's your view though? What do you think? Like off, not legally, but just your personal opinion. How much time you think Courtney Taylor's gonna get?
I think if she's found guilty, she's going to get between 10 to 15.
Damn,
I think
okay.
if she takes a plea, she's going to get between 5 to 10. And then you get out, you do 85% of that time. They call that 15% gain time. So you have to do at least 85% of your time. Then you can get out early. But if she's also going to have some form of probation at the tail end. Probably around 5 years. But
Will they get to pick the jail? Like, could it be like a nice facility somewhere in
Like Martha
Hawaii?
Stewart.
Like on some
Andy
like,
Miller.
it'll definitely
she
have to
ain't gonna be
the
in
state
like
of
the
Florida.
same
It's gonna
joint
be
that
state.
Young Thug in.
Yeah.
She's going to Martha Stewart jail.
Now, what about you? How much time do you think he's gonna get?
She's gonna get or she's gonna serve. I agree about getting. It sounds like she probably could come up with some mitigating factors in terms of that sentence. And I could see it flip the way Ariel was saying, like on some level, some probation with some mental health kind of thing. But I mean, either way, if she pleads to it or if she's found guilty of taking like a whole human being's life, she's gonna do some jail time. Like there nobody's giving you probation
Prison.
for that. Yeah, like she's gonna.
So you
do
think
some
at least
serious
5?
jail time.
About 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she'll do it.
I know of a person who in the past, and this is like back in the 90s, did a pretty gruesome murder.
Oh,
was
Jesus.
convicted of a pretty bad murder, pled to murder too, and got 5 years.
Damn,
Damn.
Wow.
Wait.
crazy.
I'm talking
this
bad
stuff
facts
so
like
confuses me.
shotgun.
That happens all the time. I see people get beat murder charges all the time.
So if she's,
Not beat them, but like get out early and stuff.
if she's found not guilty, you can't then go back and charge her again for murder 2 or murder 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Could
Double
you go
jeopardy.
and
It's over.
charge her for murder 3?
Double jeopardy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, that's why they have to. That's why they got to choose those charges
They have to
wisely.
choose, yeah.
They have to. I mean, you can go in there, and as Ariel said, you can do lesser charges all the way up. But once you get a verdict, like once
it.
that jeopardy attaches, like you
It's
have
over.
constitutional right, double jeopardy.
What do you think?
I think if she is guilty, then she's going to do 8 to 10 years. And I think if she takes a plea, it's going to be about 5. But his family needs justice. And I don't think this is
I
really
agree.
going to be
Yeah, man.
enough. Like,
For real,
she
bro.
took someone's life. Like, that's a whole person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's guilty of that for sure.
The loss of a life is never easy.
Mm.
No matter if it's
Absolutely.
righteous or not, it's doesn't matter. It's always a tough situation.
And I'm gonna stick to my verdict. I think she's gonna do a year and a half with good behavior, and she's gonna do 5 years probation.
I guess we're the only pessimists over here.
But wait, you're crying
Sorry,
over here.
yeah.
Can we get her some tissue?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh my God.
Get her some tissue.
Getting over my period of emotionals is
Cause you knew Christian,
yeah,
So
it was
it's
very
like
sweet.
he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Bring her some tissue.
No, we're good. I'm good. It's not gonna stop, but I'm good.
What's one positive memory of Christian you would say before we get out of here?
I think when he ran into us in Miami the first time they moved
was
here
so
in
exciting.
January, he was so happy to see us. He was like, "Oh my God, guys!" And he ran over to us at Moxie's.
Yeah, we were eating.
He was just so happy.
And they were like, "We're moving here," and we got like super excited because he was like our smoking buddy. Yeah,
You
like
didn't think
on
he'd
the
be
trips.
dead now, right?
Yeah, because like what?
You didn't think he'd be dead now.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I invited like Courtney to my birthday party. Like, we were starting to build like the friendship, so it was like super shocking because we were with her like right, I guess like near it happening, and I don't know. I just viewed him very highly. He seemed like a really nice guy, and so like that sucks.
Yeah.
And it's like frustrating because then it's like, okay, she was my friend, and then like I don't want that to. I don't know.
So if Courtney was here right now, what would you have to say to her?
All I have to say to everybody is when you don't heal it, like, people get hurt. Like, it's your responsibility
Or
to heal.
die, or get dead, you know?
That's what I'm saying. Like, hurt
Bad
in
shit
any
happens,
capacity.
yeah.
Like, it's everyone's responsibility to work. And also,
Mental
like,
health
the
is very
people
important.
People who did see that, because we didn't see that to, like, say something. You know, like, that's not where we were. And there's a lot of people who did see that. And it's like, when are we responsible for our friends?
Yeah.
Like, when are we responsible for calling out people when we see shitty behavior and, like,
It's like, I think in
encouraging your
society,
friends
we're
to, like,
so
get
used to
help?
toxicity that, like, when we see our friends being toxic, we just laugh it off. But, like, sometimes you got to take a step back and be like, yo, this could go too far one day. One day they could get into a real fight and some bad thing could happen.
But what do? You know, do you wedge yourself into someone else's relationship?
Yeah, and then they hate you for
and
it.
then they hate you. You know, I've had those types of friendships where of course, everyone else sees it before the person themselves sees it, and
But it's like, is condoning that behavior like that, like, trumps, like, somebody not liking you? Like, some people need to be told. What if you're the only person who says
you
that?
could be the only one to
What if
prevent
you're the
it?
one
Yeah.
who changes that?
Well, you know, I really want to thank you guys, especially, you know, Emily and Jamie, man. Thank you guys so much for coming and sharing your opinions. I know you guys were friends with both of them. I know it's very unfortunate, you know. But yeah, man, I want to thank you lovely ladies for coming. And I really want to thank Ariel and Angelique from the Lett Law Firm for coming and giving their, you know, legal opinion on the matter. I learned a lot tonight. Where can they find you?
You can find me at lettlawfirm.com, 305-912-LETT, Lett.
Definitely. And what kind of law do you guys specialize in at your firm?
Criminal defense, personal injury, civil rights, as well as homeowners insurance.
I'm going to see if I can get me a lawsuit. I want to sue somebody to get some money. But until then, I got to ask you guys, where we at?
We in Miami.
We in Miami.